It is Wednesday. We are wizards. Yes, we are wizards, and it is time for our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday. This is Elf.
And Dota.
And Bear.
And Loch Ness.
Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, and today we talk about the best thing to ever happen to the cult. And by that, I mean Wizzypedia and the search feature on the Book of Lore.
Ooh.
I was worried for a second. Oh my god, I had a heart attack.
I don't know what you were worried about, Bear, because truly, and I truly mean it, this is really the best thing to ever happen to the cult, and I'm going to tell you why. So, actually, let's talk about the Wizzypedia first. This is something that Dota and Wazir, the one who rings, have really been working on in the past few weeks. So, Dota, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we've been working on the Wizzypedia. You can find what we have so far at wizzypedia.forgottenrunes.com. It's still very, very early, I think. But the point of Wizzypedia really is this idea of having like an encyclopedia that we have for the Runiverse, so like for all of the items in the world and the locations and the people, places, and things, and then also about the community, right? So everything from Callista's Citadel to the comics to the Christmas merch box to the party to wizard nouns, babies, war on capital, Billy's going to get you, all of these things that are part of our community, just getting a place where we have some organization there. So the styling needs some work, the whole thing. We're still kind of setting up the furniture. But yeah, if you would like to kind of be an editor and help contribute to the Wizzypedia, we created a Wizzypedia channel in Discord. So hop in and we can give you access. One of the questions people will have right out of the gate is like, well, what's the difference between Wizzypedia and the Book of Lore, right? And the idea is that like the Book of Lore is it's kind of this like token gated canonical way to write lore about your wizard, right? If you're going to write a narrative story that is written, like endorsed by the owner, written about your token, the Book of Lore is still the place to put it. It's put, we keep it on chain. There's an on chain record of that. Wizzypedia is a lot more factual, right? So like when you write to Wizzypedia, there's always going to be a gray area between like what's lore and what's not. But Wizzypedia leans a lot more of like encyclopedic. So we want to say, rather than like telling a story about, something that happens around the quantum shadow, it might be a more factual description of what do we know about the quantum shadow? What do people think about it? And then cross the reference to, the different wizard hats and how they think about it. So yeah, so we're excited to kind of put this together. You can see we've got pages about all the different heads and all the wizard, items and undesirables and all these things. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to put it all together. It's incredible the amount of things that we have after just 1 year.
Yep. Yeah, the Wizzypedia is a vital part of this whole effort in decentralized lore building. Like Dota said, the Wizzypedia is going to cover more generalized lore. So, often I see questions in the Discord about what is the Quantum Downs? Who are the kobolds? What's important about Kelpie's Bay? And then I also get questions from like our comic book writer and the show writer and the game studio, and they want to know all these things. So we want the Wizzypedia to sort of answer all these generalized lore questions. And then, of course, the like Dota said, the Book of Lore is different because it's token gated. So, it's write only access for the owners of the characters themselves. It's all on chain. It deals more with like individual biographies of every character. And of course, there can be some overlap between the Wizzypedia and the Book of Lore, and I think we're just going to let that happen organically and just see how it goes.
Yeah, and another effort that's similar to that we're still figuring out how, as a community is Merlin is also working on like a wiki type product called Tree, and so definitely check that out. I'll have him drop the link in the Wizzypedia channel. And then that can even be a place where maybe some of the stuff that sits in between, right? Like maybe an archive of the cult community art that's like, it's not quite book of lore, it's not quite encyclopedic. There's so that tool, a tree that he's working on, it's somewhat earlier, but it's a little bit more polished. So definitely take a look at that too. But yeah, but Wizzypedia is going to show so much about like, we'll fill out like, what do we know about all of the locations on the map? And
Yeah.
I know that you're looking forward to talking about that, Elf.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That is one of the things I can't wait to dive into. We've got the expanded map out. I wanna give like a little blurb on every single place listed on the map. People ask for that a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been a long time coming. Our lore ecosystem is just getting so rich in information. The Runiverse just gets bigger and bigger every day. I'm going to say that our project, Forgotten Runes, has the most extensive, thorough, comprehensive, and just rich lore of any other project out there. And it's only getting bigger. Um, and the Book of Lore has almost 3,000 entries in it now. Um, and so like I said, there's a new search feature, which has also been a long time coming. And right off the bat, I just want to give a huge thanks to Niski
Yeah.
on our team for getting this out, because it just works so well. It's flawless, and I've been using this search feature every day. Dutter, do you want to say anything about Niski's effort on this?
Well, I just want to say I'm glad to be working with Niski, that's for sure. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, we basically just said, hey, Niski, can you add search? And without much more direction, he's got this set up and it's super fast and I love it. So, I think we still are working on the design for the website. And that's a
Yeah.
major kind of effort for us this year. I think, we've talked a lot internally about like, how do we best like pitch what Forgotten Runes is? Are we pitching to like crypto collectors or, investors or like, or people
Storytellers.
storytellers? Yeah. And so like, we're kind of learning how to do that. And so I think, finding the search maybe isn't that straightforward. I dropped a link in the secret tower, and we're working on that design. So,
Yeah.
but that said, I think the functionality in terms of being able to just, search for the MP Shake and then see
Yeah.
that there actually is no lore in the Book of Lore about the MP Shake. Yeah,
Yeah, so get on that, somebody.
yeah.
Or maybe that's more of a Wizzypedia entry.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, again, I love this search so much. It's so important for many reasons. The obvious one being it helps everybody more easily. You can search for a specific wizard. You can search for a keyword. So, if you want to find lore about wizards with bunnies, like search bunnies. The other day, I was looking for wizards who are known for their drinking habits. So I searched like beer and drunken wizard, and I found so many great entries. And so that speaks to like the second reason why this is such a great tool is because so like one of the biggest efforts we have going on behind the scenes is we've got comic issue #1 in production. We've got Derek like working on the show, like the episodes and just the overall season. And then we've got the game studio who's always asking for lore. And like I'm always pointing them to the Book of Lore. And the problem before was like, I don't want them to just like start at the front of the book and just flip through it and look for something. That's just really no way to find content. So this search feature helps the writers and the other developers and these other places find stuff that they need. So it's huge for that.
And
Um,
it's just so like it's even though the UI is a little rough or whatever, you can just squint and see that we're building the future of storytelling, like as a community, right? That like you didn't have these tools with like Harry Potter, for example, or yeah, or like Song of Ice and Fire to be able until like much later, right? You had one centralized creator write these books, and then you kind of had people follow on, pouring over and recreating it. And this is actually just the like other direction. It's a cohesive system through a community of creators, and then the tools that we're building for interoperability, then it makes it so that the stories can work together, and then also so people who are creating these like other media expressions, like the TV show, comic, whatever, can like pick from that. So I'm just so excited for what we're building.
Yep. Then following off that, so I wanted to talk about this last week, but we didn't find time. So I want to touch on the comic. The comic is out. Many of you have seen it, the physical or the digital version. You'll be able to get one through the merch, and we'll give you an update on that later. But I want to talk about just like the content in the comic itself for a second, and how it just speaks to this larger thing we're doing. For those of you who have seen the comic, it's got two community-owned wizards in it. It's got O's wizard, Adaptadrian of the Rock, and then it's also got Chuck K's wizard, Mystic Willow of the Brambles. And so, this speaks to what we always talk about internally, which is how do we put community-owned characters into the show, into the comic, into these larger media expressions. Essentially, what is the balance of community-owned wizards and wizards that Magic Machine owns? Because one of the tricks is like we want to be careful not to play kingmaker. Meaning we don't like necessarily want to just pluck out a cult member's wizard and like make it the main character of the show. Um, it's just problematic. And so, but at the same time, we want to showcase as many cult members and warriors, cult wizards and warriors as possible. I can maybe even foresee a future where, at the very least, we give every wizard its proverbial 15 minutes of fame, if not more than that. And so we talk about how this world building effort is going to be just this really nice ebb and flow between Magic Machine and the cult, trying to find that balance. And so we're working currently with Derek and Joe, the writers of the show and comic, to strike this balance in the best way possible. And so, what one way it's going is like, for the most part, I don't tell Derek or Joe which wizards to use. Because these guys are professionals. I want them to choose characters based on the stories that they want to tell. I want them to choose based on the lore that they find most compelling. I mean, that's literally how Joe, the comic writer, picked those two wizards for issue 0. I didn't tell him. He just chose those because they fit the story that he was looking to tell. I always want the quality of the lore to come first. And I want talented people to use the lore that they think is great. And so it'll be the same with Derek. Derek submitted this amazing script last week, and holy F, it's amazing. It's so damn good. Like, I can't believe this would be episode 1. It's just so freaking exciting. It's to me, it's got like the same like tone and vibe as the trailer. It's just like over the top dramatic. It hits all the high notes. It hits all the low notes. It's like big and intimate at the same time. But anyway, so the trick is like, again, how do we get more community wizards in this episode? And so like, the best we can do at Magic Machine is just like put some suggestions on their desk, and then just let them choose. And so, before, one of the tools we were using was this big directory that we've been building of community wizards, that we've been sharing with the writers. But now they even have a better tool at their disposal, just a straight up search feature. So like if Derek needs a wizard that is known for fire magic, he can just type in like fire magic or pyromancer and find some great wizards to fit that. So yeah, I mean, Doder or Bear, what did you guys think of that script that Derek submitted?
I love it. So I have a hard time kind of imagining like pictures in my head, more like narrative and conceptual than like visual. And I mean, I've talked about this with Derek before, that when I listen to him tell a story, I can actually see it, right? When he sends over that, script for that first episode, I felt like I was watching the first episode and getting a vision for what the show could be, and I was just so excited. We met with him this week too, and it's super fun. I always love when we get a chance to talk to him.
Yep.
Some people in the cult are asking. They're saying, "Oh, how can we lobby Joe to get in the comic? How can we lobby Derek to be in the show?" And I think that the answer there really is one. Make like if sort of we know your wizard, then we naturally are going to kind of bubble that up, right? Like lobbying them is really like lobbying Alf and Magus Wazir and myself, and sort of like there are certain wizards that like if you told us to sit down and say like name all of the wizard characters that you can name, I could probably get like let's say somewhere between 30 to 50 or something. And then it's like why am I even able to name that many? And it's because those people have kind of like created art and created lore around their character that is just simply unforgettable. And so we'll dig a little bit deeper, more than like the top 30 wizards, but there are some that I think kind of in our mind are just like, well, yes, Wizard X, which I won't reveal, like we just feel like has to be in the show,
No, this is actually an excellent question, and it's something that I think about a lot. And Dota, you pretty much nailed it. But it's like, it's again another thing we always talk about, which is like stories and archetypes and memes that have lasted through the ages. The reason they've done that is because they're just compelling stories, or they're just like very strong archetypes that stick in the human psyche. And so that same sort of phenomenon is playing out here in the cult, which is like, one way to stick out is just to make a lot of like lore and memes and Twitter posts and book of lore posts and Discord posts, and just like really embody your wizard, like make them known, make them legendary. I bet everybody here can like think of very prominent members that just like stick out in your mind immediately because of what the token owners have done with those wizards. So there's 1,000 ways to do that, but like that's, I guess, like the short answer of how you get your wizard into these larger things.
Yeah, it's just around like having like having something for us to like hang your hat on is the expression, right? Of like if there's an idea there that we're like, oh yes, I could see an episode being built around that, or that character like playing a role in an episode that we have written. That's like, of course we would grab for that.
Yeah, I'll give maybe another little tip. This is something I just sort of gravitated towards when I was researching in the Book of Lore. You know, a lot of people like ask about like, how much lore do I need to write? It's not a matter of like word count. It's a matter of just like writing something strong and punchy that sticks out. And so like for example, I was looking for like wizards who are known for their drunkenness or drinking beer, and one wizard, or actually two wizards, popped out. Augur Milton of the Capitol popped out because number one, his book of lore has this awesome illustration by Oz right in the front, so the illustration grabbed me. Number two, his lore was just like very quick and simple. He's the owner of a pub, and he even has his menu published in the book of lore. Like I could understand that wizard very quickly. He just sticks out. And then another one is a clairvoyant Gary from the Abyss. Again, his lore was just really nice and neat, and he even has a little catchphrase, which is Slyante. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but like the lore that's like very, I'm not going to say short, but just something that's easy to digest in a very quick way so you understand the character. Like that is something easy for me or Derek or Joe to just quickly grasp and say, oh, I could see that character in a story. Um, but I don't want to also like preclude anyone from writing a huge, like beautiful epic either on their wizard. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because there's other ways to make your wizard to pop out, and long stories are a great way to do that as well. Um, but yeah, it's I think next week I'm going to give another talk about like canon and how continuity is not necessarily important. It's really more important to establish like the core essence of who your wizard is. But that's a whole other long talk. But yeah, just like just very strong lore entries that define your wizard's character. I think are a great way to put a book of lore entry in there. Bear, did you have anything to say about Derek?
Well, I don't want to like just repeat what you guys are saying, but I think when I had a job a long time ago, and it's been like I had a job a long time ago where like I brought my boss sandwiches, and I had to like read scripts all day long. So that was my entire thing, was like feeding this guy and reading scripts, and like basically having to like summarize these scripts. And I can't tell you how bad some of them were, but some of them were amazing, and the amazing ones really. And you kind of nailed it, Doda. Like when you read a script that's good, um, it comes alive in your head as a visual, especially because the way like a script is formatted. It's not like a block of text, like pages in a novel. It's very spaced out, and you know what character's talking when, and there's action lines. It's all very visually formatted. But what Derek, like, it opens on a scene that is really loud and exciting and huge and action heavy, and so there's an art form to sort of grabbing someone's attention and leading them into a world. And so the way he dissected this first episode and laid it out, I think it shows in such like an eloquent way that's not expositional and boring, that there is an entire world here. And I think like whether you're in the cult, and your wizard or warrior or pony or beast is in the episode or the show at that moment, or you don't even know what Forgotten Runes NFT project is itself, you're gravitated to how he is sort of unveiling the world. And it's quiet, it's loud, it's just one of those things where you're like, this feels like when you read something that's really good. And I actually, if people are interested in like learning how to write more, especially in script form, there's like the most famous screenplays are available for free online anyway. You can like go find the script for Godfather or Goodfellas or any movie, right? And so like I'm kind of blabbling, but like it's just special. He there's a clear world there, and you just want to watch more. You want to read more, and I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exactly. And what I love is that, like, when we have this show made, that people will enjoy it regardless of like whether they have a token or not. And so, I feel like one of the problems that NFTs as a media expression are going to run into is almost this like I don't. It's almost like a jealousy or something. What I mean is that like nobody watches kind of Harry Potter and feels jealous that there's like someone who owns all the IP of like Harry Potter, or that there's this like massive business of like executives behind the whole like Harry Potter machine, right? It's just so big and so separated that you don't think about it. But
yep.
I wonder with NFTs if people are going to be like, because you kind of like see that there's one character owned by one person, if they'll be like turned off, be it like jealousy almost, that they like don't own that character.
Not
And
if we do our
so,
jobs right.
well, exactly, not if we do our jobs right. And I think a lot of the NFT animations that I've seen kind of feel like the reunion episode of like a has-been TV show where they're just like, oh, hey, Jeff, whatever. And, like they're trying to like bring up all these characters for no particular reason. Whereas like, yeah, what we're already starting to see being creative with what we're trying to do, like you said, if we do our jobs right, is, this is a story with characters that you're going to love. And you don't think about the fact that it's like, that it has like leopard print skin or whatever.
Yeah. And no one's ever done it before, right? Like no one's ever built.
That's true. Yeah.
No one's ever like figured out how to weave 25,000 characters who are owned by other people into a main thread, right? So I think like the process in which we figure this out, we're right here next to you guys, right? We're learning, and we're trying to figure out the best process to do that, and it will be iterative. It's just like with anything, you trip forward and you figure it out, and you get better and you get better and you get better. But that's why we have the secret tower. That's why we have Wizard Wednesdays, so we can be in communication. And if people are feeling a certain way, we're listening.
And that's why we have the Wizzypedia and the Book of Lore Search. I mean, again, I can't tell you how much those things have helped me. I also want to add just one other thing onto this, which is, the show and the comic and everything that Magic Machine does, yes, is like a vital part of the whole Forgotten Runes thing. But I I honestly believe, I truly believe that these other like cult initiatives, like the comic book that RYF is making, that thing looks freaking amazing. And I would almost like if I was a cult member, I'd almost be more excited to see my wizard pop up in that than the one that Magic Machine is making. I mean, I feel like it's going to be just as good, if not better, than our comic. It just looks so freaking good. And that's part of why the DAO exists, to like fund these things. If you want to do a comic book, like submit a proposal to the DAO. If you want to do a game or whatever, submit to the DAO, and you can make stuff that's just as good as what Magic Machine is doing, perhaps better. Um, so there's so many avenues for your characters to appear.
Well, and
I
that's
just
really
had a
how like Forgotten Runes is going to work, right? Like that's the only way. That's the only way for us to operate, right? Is that like everyone is creating
Yep.
at whatever their ability level is. Sorry, go ahead, Bear.
No, I got off. It's funny. I got off a call with like this big licensor who like represents pieces of IP. They actually did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They like turned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into what they are today, starting in the '80s. And they were like, well, how do the rights work? And I like walked them through it, and they're like, well, what is to like stop you? What does to stop like one of your cult members to like create a competing like game or comic book or show? I go, there's nothing. In
It's not a
fact,
competition, bro.
I go, it's not a competition, and like in fact, like we want to try to help get it made, and
Yep. Yep.
and these are the conversations we're having, right? Like this is like the antithesis of how media franchises or even the small shows, like people fight over things that don't even have value yet, right? Just like on like term sheets.
Yep.
And so like every day we're like chipping away trying to like unwind people's brain from how things have worked to how they're going to work. It's interesting.
Yep. So we're halfway through. I want to pivot to the merch, because that's another big thing that's happening. There's maybe been a little confusion, but Loch Ness, do you want to talk about the whole merch thing?
For sure. Excuse me. Yeah. Thank you everyone for being super patient with us as we sort of sort this out. Let's start from the beginning. We initially were giving away a lot of merch at NFT NYC, and of course, there were a large group of wizards who couldn't make it. So what we did is we created a digital merch pass so that we could sort of check the temperature on what the demand was for digital merchandise and try to get a store up as soon as possible. With this store, because folks who signed up for a digital merch pass have been waiting for a while, I sent them an email via MailChimp this morning, afternoonish, so that they would have access to redeem merch, as I know that they have been waiting for a while. Their demand had been pretty high. But the problem with that platform is that, like, if you had signed up after NFT NYC, I didn't have access to the back end in order to see all the emails that you guys entered and add you guys to that. So, yeah, of course, a ton of people DM'd me and were taken care of. But in light of all of that, in about an hour or so, the merch will be live for everyone. We'll automatically apply a discount that gives you 2 free items. In order for this discount to work, you'll have to add at least 1 item to your cart. So then you'll have a total of 3 items in your cart when you check out. And the discount for 2 free items will be automatically applied. We're donating 30% of all of our revenue to the House of Wizards DAO, and of course, including a comic and a sticker in every single order. So if you have any questions regarding your order or access to the store, ping me on Discord. Again, it'll be live in about an hour or so. I'll be creating a portal on Discord for verified wizards and warriors titled the Magic Merch Portal. uh,
Perfect.
yeah, and there's a limited quantity of every style. So I just ask that you guys be mindful of that, and we want to make sure that we get the merch in as many people's hands as possible. So if you have a duplicate order, it's been canceled, and the additional items that you've added to that order have been added to your original order. Just a FYI. And then if you've placed an order and you made a mistake, if we have supplies available, just DM me your order number. And of course, all of these instructions will be on the announcement once the store is live. But DM me your order number so that we can make the changes before we get them shipped.
Thank you, Locke.
Yeah, Locke. It sounds incredibly difficult what you're
Thank
doing,
you.
but bottom line is, correct me if I'm wrong, but every token holder gets free merch. Bottom line, right?
Bottom line, every token holder gets 2 free pieces of their choosing. You get to choose your pieces if that's not clear.
Yeah, and I think, and also if we run out, because there's some things that are going to sell out first. I think the hats are already gone. We are definitely going to do like remakes of like reprints of these lines. So if you don't get it this time, we'll definitely print more. We think we sort of see this sort of line of shirts and sweatshirts as like an ongoing thing, and it'll iterate and we'll have new designs. But like we want to kind of try to not have to like design a whole new line every 3 months. So anyway, there'll be more to come. And also, like, just to what Locke's doing, I know it feels like overly complicated, maybe like from a consumer standpoint trying to buy, but like there's not great tools yet to help make this happen. So it'll improve every time.
Bear with us as we stumble through the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that it actually got into the hands of the cult as well. If anyone knows about like limited drops and lotteries, especially in streetwear, there's bots that'll like sort of scrub the internet and find your site and just clean you out. So I wanted to avoid that at all costs because that would have been a bigger mess.
Yeah.
So thank you all.
Cool. Well, with that, we are going to end this Wizard Wednesday. Channeling out from the Quantum Downs, this is Elf.
And Dota.
And Loch Ness.
And Jitsi?
GN, everybody. Channeling in from the Cucum Downs. It is the Nightmare Extravaganza Cucum Dog Wednesday. This is Elf Cumber, Dogta, and Hot Bear Snake. Welcome to the Cucum Dog Wednesday, everybody. My first question is, who do we blame for this monstrosity? I'm pointing my finger at you, Cheddar Bob. I'm pointing my finger at you, Wise Sam. Tanya, you're not getting away from this. I saw that Easter egg. Emma, damn you for playing into this whole nightmare. Gaines Guild, Pleasures, you're the one who gave me that damn PFP. The one who rings, I saw that awful game you made. Tabitha of the Marsh, I saw that stop motion. Slim, I see your hijinks. Maxwell Tez, I see that PFP right now. Everybody who has a PFP cucumber is going to be excommunicated.
Ex-cucumber made it? Ex-cucummated?
Excommunicated. Damn all of you for succumbing to this madness.
That was epic, yo. I'm just going to say and put on record. That was awesome.
We already talked about the best thing to happen to the cult. Now let's talk about the worst thing to ever happen to the cult. You guys thought we were going to go the whole Wizard Wednesday without mentioning it. Oh, no. We've got punishments to deal out. So, first of all, if anyone wants to come up here and explain themselves, by all means, please do so. I'm seeing a lot of you cucumbers in the chat right now. So please.
The floodgates have been opened.
Yes, the gates of hell have been opened. Natrix, do you have any comments on this cucumber madness?
I sure do. I actually requested earlier just first to say that there definitely is Impy Shake lore. Yes, in the Forgotten Loots, but I wasn't prepared to talk about cucumber dogs. I've been resisting them. I will slice them with, my
your slicer.
Yeah.
Don't find it.
Listen, Natrix, I'm sorry. There's no room for wizard talk right now. This is strictly cucumber talk.
A cucumber dog is never just a cucumber dog. I will just say that.
Cheddar Bob, what do you have to say for yourself? You're the one who started this whole thing. Am I wrong?
You're right. I mean,
he's like, yeah, I did it.
I mean, all I did, it was just a regular Wednesday. Sales chat turned into sales food chat. Blanco was talking about meals with cucumbers. So what do? I go to Google. I don't know what was going through my head. I typed in cucumber hot dogs. First picture that popped up. And
the rest was history.
Ever since then, it just took
like,
off.
A month ago, Bear was like, "Oh, Dodo, we got to do a book. I'm going to get a deal with this book publisher. They want to do like a physical book of lore, and they want to do a cookbook." And I'm like, "What kind of cookbook are we going to do for Forgotten Rune?"
Oh no!
Now we have our answer.
Oh no! Oh no!
Don't sleep on.
Don't encourage it, Dodo.
Tanya made something look really good, actually.
What's that?
Yes.
Tanya made an item that are a cucumber hot dog that actually looks really good without it was awesome.
Yeah. Has anybody actually eaten one of these things?
Yeah, I think so. Zay made a video of him actually eating one, preparing it, eating it within a 30-second video.
That's excellent. Oh, Tabitha. Okay, Tabitha, explain. I saw your little rat Blimpy eating one of these things. Hello, Tabitha.
Well, Tabitha's coming up here, I also want to mention Tanya's comic was just incredible. When you were mentioning people making things that are, at the level of what we create or better, I immediately thought of Tanya's comic pages. Tanya, I had no idea. I knew you were an artist, but I didn't know you did comic pages like that. And I was just delighted and floored for the whole day, smiling. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, my background is in comics. That's where I started out professionally. So
amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Tanya, I got to second that. It's one of my favorite things I've seen come out of the cult this week. I just love that style. It's got that really old school manga style. That artist who drew Astro Boy. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. Tezuka. It kind of feels like that. And then I even read the panels. The story is great. It's so much fun.
Thank you. That means so much. Especially, that's a huge inspiration for me. Astro Boy and all those classic manga from the 80s. I love all that stuff.
So good. Tabitha, what do you have to say for yourself and for your rat?
I gotta say, exactly. It was not actually my rat that ate the cucumber dog. It was me, to be honest. And it was not all that awful. To the truth to be told, especially if you put mayonnaise on it. As you know, the Dutch people. I'm Dutch. They put mayonnaise on everything, and with mayonnaise you can eat almost everything. But I didn't heat up the sausage, and I think that was the good part, because that mixing up warm sausage and cold, that may be a little bit. Yeah, the German sausages are cold. You can eat them cold. No problem.
Okay.
They're tasty. So, and the rest
All
is
right.
history. Yeah.
I
All
just have to
right.
say, I did have a cucumber dog that actually was delicious, and I would have it again.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe, I mean, I've been hating it this whole time, but maybe I've been wrong. I'm not sure.
It's low carb.
I'm waiting for somebody to throw it on the grill or in the air fryer.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, from our point of view, like me and Dota and Bear, we've been simultaneously entertained and horrified. You know, the first thing I thought of is Victor von Frankenstein, who, with the best intentions, inadvertently created a horrifying monster. Um, and there's this amazing quote: once the monster was created, he implored his master to make more monsters, and he says, "It's true, we shall be monsters, cut off from the world, but on that account, we shall be more attached to one another." And that is exactly what's happening with these cucumber things. They are horrifying monsters, but I've never seen such a like rallying cry among the cult. Like, it's just really brought everyone so much closer together.
I mean, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm getting mentioned in tweets. People are thanking me. I mean, Slim had a baby last night. Shout out to him. And he's half hour later, after the baby's born, he's tweeting at me saying this is the best thing that's ever happened to him after he had a baby.
His baby just wanted milk before, and now
he came into the world during the great cucumbocalypse. Yeah, and I don't know, it's just like, you know, it's also just been like a really fascinating study on just meme culture. You know, if Forgotten Runes is anything, it's a project about mimetic culture, and it's just so fascinating to see the like the whole life cycle of a meme, the birth, it's like its growth, its mania phase, and
it's
then
death. Hopefully soon.
hopefully it's horrifying death. So,
There's only one way this ends, and we all know what it is.
what is that one way?
I don't know. Blocko, I'm going to quote Blocko from the sales chat the other day. He said, "The only way it ends is when we get a beef."
Oh man. Well, I saw Oz do a great rendition of the Cthulhu Cumber, I think it's called.
Right out of the gate, first time pronunciation perfect.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. I do love to pretend that I hate it, because part of me does hate it, but part of me loves it. So, you know, I'm torn over this whole thing, but we really wanted to talk about it. You know, another funny side effect is, like, there's been so much great cult content come out this week, and it's just been drowned out by these damn cucumbers. But I want to take a minute to acknowledge some of the other non-cucumber related cult content. So, you know, first of all, Meeple Dad has been doing these great interviews, and in fact, he's got one with me coming out very soon. Meeple Dad's a great interview. I loved the questions that he asked. They were just really pertinent, relevant questions. So, you know, I love what he's been doing. Jose Canizares finally finished the 3D Dota Wizard, and so now the trifecta is complete. Dota, that piece is amazing.
Oh, he did such a great job, and he's been working on it for a long time. And I love the details of the hummingbird and the world egg and the glasses, and it's so high detail. I really would love to like turn these into physicals too, if we ever can do,
Yes.
you know, like desk Funko Pops or whatever. It's just so good.
Yep. Yeah, so good. He's so talented. And then Slick Chick's got a new PFP that's looking really awesome. I can't remember the artist who did that. I think RYF commissioned it, but it's
I
a
think it's
really nice.
Dango. Yeah, Dango NFT
Oh,
is
okay, great.
like handle. Yeah.
And then Luca Spardo did a really great VR sculpt of one of his warriors. Artists of the Rock has been doing a bunch of excellent PFP commissions. It's like a whole new style that we're seeing spread around the cult.
It's so good.
There's been a lot of Dali madness happening. Like so much amazing stuff coming out of the Dali tool. I saw a great one today of Claire Silver's Wizard. That thing was just amazing. I mean, I could see like that version of Claire Silver's Wizard in like the show. It's just so cool looking. And then Sammy Kitty has been making progress on the little ceramic horse warrior. It's looking great. Daniela Illustra, commissioned by artists, with just an amazing rendition of the Ouroboros. Every time I see something in that style, I just love it. I want to see it in a book. And then, of course, RYF just shared some more amazing artwork of a warrior with a red jaguar. Such good stuff, always from RYF. And then Stalamere with another piece of artwork of Battle Mage Bullock. I've been seeing a lot of really cool artwork of Battle Mage Bullock. There's been some awesome GIFs. There's been some awesome illustrations. That wizard is like really starting to stand out in my mind. It's just like a legendary wizard because of all the great artwork I'm seeing come from it. And then I want to give a shout out to Night Owl Birdman for his campaign to get me to enter some goat lore into the Book of Lore. Birdman, I have not done it yet. I swear I started, but it's not in the book yet. I don't want to rush it. This is a very important wizard, so I can't do it just yet. But I appreciate the campaign. Yeah, those are the ones I have on my list. You know, every week I feel like I'm probably missing people's cult content. If I do, I'm ashamed of myself. but yeah, no. Tag Forgotten Runes if you want to get a shout out. And you know, and of course make some awesome artwork. But yeah, did you have any Dota that maybe I missed?
No, I've been trying to add them all to the shared tweets here in the space. So if you're just listening along on your phone, you should be able to flip through a lot of these tweets that we've got shared here, and you can see the images because I think that always helps.
Yep. So Natrix, did you have something else you wanted to say non-cucumber related?
I think Reptar did too as well.
Oh, Reptar, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Or any of you?
Natrix, yes. Yeah. Natrix is it? Yeah.
I've got news from the council.
Oh, great.
Voting starts right after Wizard Wednesday on the two proposals we have right now, a 3D short film by My Friends in Oz and an adult novel by Cryptonatrix. Voting will be open for a week until next Wizard Wednesday. So get your votes in.
Oh, okay. That sounds awesome. Just tell me a little bit. So My Friends in Oz are pitching a 3D film?
Yep, they're pitching a 3D short film. Hopefully, hold on, let me open up the proposal.
So if you're interested in reading up more on these, you can look in the House of Wizards channel on Discord. Then there's also in there you'll be able to find links to the discourse, which is a forum that we use to kind of discuss the various proposals ahead of time. And then from there, we go over to Snapshot and do voting, where it basically records kind of your voting power according to the tokens that you hold, and then you can place a formal vote. So if you're interested in participating in that, hop over to the House of Wizards channel in Discord, and you can find all the links that you need from there.
Reptar, do you have those proposals pulled up?
Yeah, so the 3D animation short film, it's going to be a short film about Sage Sela of the Steppe. There's a short animation they posted on Twitter, which I'll put in the Discord right now. They're going to aim to do a film over 3 months, have it be 3 to 5 minutes long. They're working on a script, and honestly, it's pretty open towards that. I don't know the storyline yet, but it looks pretty exciting. It involves going to the astral dimension and going on a psychedelic trip, which we all love.
That sounds amazing.
Natrix is working on an adult novel. It's going to be about 90,000 words over the next 10 to 13 months. This one you're going to want to read, just because it's I can't, like, in this format that I'm looking at it, it's not easy for me to read it out to you guys.
Okay.
I don't have the official snapshot up. I just have the preview on Discourse. But I definitely suggest everyone check it out.
Awesome. Yes. That sounds great. Yeah. So voting is happening now and lasts till when?
Till next Wednesday.
Okay, got it. Sweet. Sounds good. Any other questions, comments, petitions to not be excommunicated for this cucumber nonsense? Why, Sam, are you in the audience? I know you're the one. I think you're the one who made all these horrifying PFPs.
Elf, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the chat, but my friends has officially dropped an auction.
Oh, for the Cthulhu Cumber?
Yes. 24-hour auction starts at 0 ETH. If there are no bids, it gets burned.
Oh, I think that's either of those outcomes are acceptable. I'll just say if it gets more bids than the Quantum Ouroboros, I'm going to have some words with Oz and the buyer of that thing.
That's funny.
Oh man.
My mom texted me this morning, and she was like, "What's with this cucumber dog thing?"
And what did you say?
I was just like, "Mom, someone just posted a picture of a cucumber with a hot dog in the middle, and it's like a hot dog with a cucumber bun, and everyone just got attached to it, and that's all they've been talking about for a week." And she just texts back, she's like, "There's a game," and yeah, so she didn't believe me that it was small because obviously it was something significant in our cult because someone had created an entire video game about it. So,
right.
Yeah. So thanks everyone.
This has been Elfcumber, Doctor, and Hot Bear Snake channeling out from the Cucum Downs. GN, everybody.